What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Crunch Time here on a Saturday afternoon. A little later than usual, but I am Britt Devine, joined by my weekend friend, Mr. Agents of Fandom. We've got TJ here, master of the Spidey Bombs. TJ, how's it going this afternoon?
It's going pretty well. Ready to dive into this slate. Always down for some daytime weekend baseball. How you doing, Britt?
Doing pretty good. I'm always tired, but we got this show. I'm going to be on the later show. Maybe you'll be joining me too. I like the baseball. I guess this mixed with the 7 p.m. slate. I like this. A little bit later in the day with a couple of slates. I wish there were more games, but it is what it is. I'm feeling pretty good about the slate. Unfortunately for me, almost everything I bet is either later today or I've already made bets for tomorrow. There's a game in particular I bet. I was talking to Devin. Maybe I'll give it to you guys a little bit later. But most of my picks are for today, but there's still DFS to be played right now, TJ.
There is. Small little, we got a 3-game slate on DK, 4-game slates, or three on both, I think it is. Is it right? No, 4 on FanDuel.
No, we got four on FanDuel, and DraftKings is including the Mets game a little later today on the 4 o'clock slate for some reason. So it's all, we got 4 on FanDuel, 5.
Double 4. I don't know why, though. I could only see the 3 on Lineup HQ, and for some reason I thought it was 3 on DK. But the double 4, I feel like I like this evening slate just a little or what we got 5 on DK. Jeepers, this is it's so confusing the way they did these today.
On the weekend DFS, you never know what's going to get thrown at you.
No, I know, like it's always throws me off. But yeah, there's the one game in particular that looks really good from a hitting standpoint on this early slate, and then we'll have to find some ways to get a little different too.
Yeah, let's get how about 25 likes for the first Spidey Bomb, TJ? We'll set a low bar for the first one. We're almost there anyway.
Let's go 30. Let's go 30.
All right, we'll get the likes.
There's already almost 80 people watching, so let's go 30.
All right, we'll get up to 30 likes for the first Spidey Bomb. I'm going to talk pitching, mainly cash. TJ is going to handle more of the tournaments. And today there's basically 2 pitchers I think you really want to focus on. One's expensive in Kevin Gausman. He's my top play. I'm sure TJ is probably going to like him against Seattle. They strike out against righties. Gausman's been pretty amazing for pretty much the whole season. I don't expect Seattle to pose much resistance to him having a good game. He is expensive. The other guy you might want to take a shot on is McClanahan. I think he's more of a tournament option for cash. I'm definitely going to take Gausman if I'm spending up. The other option we have on both sites, you'll probably be playing Gausman plus Grayson Rodriguez, because on DraftKings, he's just 6,300. And I don't know why he's priced so low. I know it's against Tampa Bay, but the Rays have been faltering a little bit. Their lineup's still pretty good, and it looks pretty, full today. But just this price tag at 6,300, it allows you to get access to some of the bats he wants today. He's a good prospect. And I think even against Tampa Bay, just at the price point, he's going to come through, because if you play Gausman and McClanahan, or Gausman and Gilbert against TJ's Blue Jays, or even Scherzer on DraftKings against Boston, you're really limited in the bats that you're allowed to get to. So DraftKings, my preferred option is probably Gausman with Rodriguez. FanDuel, I'm playing Gausman personally. I don't think I'd fault you for playing Rodriguez. There's a little more variance, I think, in his game than Gausman, hence the big salary gap. But if you play him, I mean, you can get 4 Reds, you can get 4 Arizona bats, and you can go ham in the game with an 11 over-under pretty easily, in my opinion, today. I like Gausman on FanDuel over Rodriguez, probably pairing those on DraftKings. TJ, what do you think of that? And then how would you differentiate yourself if I think specifically on DraftKings, where that combo is going to be very popular?
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. Those are definitely my top 2. Gausman's going to be my SP1. Rodriguez is the top SP2. But honestly, I think on DraftKings today, and it's really the same case on FanDuel too, maybe not quite to the same extent, but on both these sites, I'm very interested in mixing and matching a bunch of different pitchers and really loading up on that Arizona-Cincinnati game. And so I do have a lot of interest in tournaments in Logan Gilbert, Max Scherzer, James Paxton, even a little bit of Bobby Miller, and maybe even a little bit of Brandon Pfaadt, but I probably not him. He's probably not Brandon Pfaadt.
I'm not taking a picture in that game. It could happen,
exactly.
I'm not doing that.
If I was doing 150, maybe he squeaks in, but otherwise, Otherwise, no. But I really do like mixing and matching all those different pitchers today. Tough spots, but good pitchers. And that one Arizona-Cincinnati game is really the one I want to target the most for offense. So I think in tournaments, I don't mind the idea of trying to get a little bit different, maybe playing some Gilbert, playing some Scherzer, playing some Paxton, and then still going to that one game for offense that might be a little chalky.
Yeah, I think Miller is a nice swerve from Rodriguez. I think Rodriguez is just going to draw a ton of ownership overall, specifically on DraftKings. But Miller looks reasonably good. There's no Corey Seager, who's basically one of the best hitters in all of baseball. So if you're playing Miller, that's one less bet. The Texas lineup, still, the entire offense can be good, but taking Seager out is a pretty nice bonus for him today. So I think he's a nice swerve off of Rodriguez in tournaments for you're still paying more, but it's sort of in the same salary range and lets you maybe get a little bit different. But TJ, we've rocketed past 30 likes. We're at 40 already. Let's get to Spidey Bomb number 1, man.
All right, Spidey Bomb number 1. We can get the second one at, let's go 65 likes for Spidey Bomb number 2. The first one, we're going to that game that we've been talking about that we like for offense. And you can find Jake Fraley for plus 500 on Fanduel, and he is Spidey Bomb number 1.
Yeah, I got a 550 on DraftKings as well, so I'm going to go follow you in. I love our sponsor, FanDuel. Thank you to them for sponsoring the show. But if you don't have the best home run odds, TJ, I'm following the odds. I got to get paid more when I hit the bet, so I'm going to go over to DK for the Fraley. And I don't understand some of the odds on this game. Fraley is someone I already bet previously on the show. But there's a couple of other Reds players. We'll see if they end up in any of the other Spidey Bombs that are just a little bit too low, given the total in this game. And both sides have horrible pitchers that give up plenty of power. So we'll have to see how that plays out. All right, I'm going to throw it to you for offense in general. We've got the Arizona-Cincinnati game with Brandon Pfaadt and Williamson on the mound, both pretty horrific pitchers. We've got two good offenses in a great park here. Everyone's going to be playing these guys. You can fit them in, unless you do maybe two expensive pitchers on DraftKings. You can pretty much make stacks of both teams reasonably easily. Which of the offenses do you prefer if you have to pick one in that game? And would you be overweight on this game or maybe underweight in terms and maybe swing it to some other team?
I'll be overweight and then look to find some ways to differentiate in tournaments today. Arizona and Cincinnati are kind of tied as my tier 1. Tier 2 for me today is going to be the Dodgers. And then my third team that I'm going to be looking to go to is Tampa Bay, going up against Rodriguez, because even though he's a great young prospect, strikes a lot of guys out, he also has been giving up a lot of hard contacts, has had some struggles. So Tampa Bay, I think, is the most interesting one to mix in there for tournaments, get a little bit of leverage off of Rodriguez, especially on DraftKings where he'll be higher owned. And it's tier 1 of Arizona and Cincinnati, tier 2, the Dodgers, tier 3, Tampa Bay.
I didn't hear you for Spidey Bomb number 2. What are we looking for?
60 likes.
60. All right. So we're at 50. Keep hitting that like button and we will get another Spidey Bomb. I'll give you, if we can get up to, let's say 80, I'll give you some of the bets that I'm on today as well. Maybe that'll be Spidey Bomb number 3, but I'll throw in a couple of bets at 80 as well. All right, let's go. I'm going to go start position by position here. And let's talk offense. Maybe not offense in general. We'll just start with catcher. So like I don't know. On FanDuel, probably not going to be playing a catcher. On DraftKings, I would like Will Smith against Dane Dunning, right? I think that's a pretty good spot, maybe even on FanDuel. But on DraftKings, he's just a little bit too expensive. And if you're playing for, I don't know, if you want to play some of the Reds and you want to play some of the Arizona bats, you probably can't spend up all the way in catcher today. So maybe Francisco Alvarez at 3,600 looks pretty good. If you're going cheap, you've got maybe a Mitch Garver. You've got a Carson Kelly at the 3K. You can basically punt any of these cheap guys, in my opinion. They're really not all too different from one another. So, of course, I'd like Carson Kelly, even though he's not great in that Arizona-Cincinnati game. But if you need to save a little bit of salary, pick a starting catcher that's maybe a little bit underpriced, a little bit lower than him. And if you're able to get some more bats from the Arizona game, some more bats from the Cincinnati game, that's probably how I'm handling it over there. So TJ, from catcher, how are you handling it from the tournament perspective?
Yeah, same page for me there today. I think the only ones on FanDuel I'd be really looking to play would be Will Smith, and probably that's it. Like if Carson Kelly landed in a stack, I wouldn't try and take him out, but that'd be the main thing I do over there. Then on DraftKings, Smith is my number one, I think. And then it's the same thing. Carson Kelly, you can go do for some salary savings, but I also really like Francisco Alvarez as a one-off. I don't think you need to. I don't think you need to play him. I like Paxton too. Sorry, that's where I wanted to go with that. But Alvarez, if I'm not playing Paxton, I like as a one-off.
Yeah, Paxton had a little bit of struggles in his last start, but other than that, has been pretty phenomenal this year. It'll be interesting to see how that game plays out between Scherzer and Paxton, two reasonably good pitchers against off. I mean, it's the Mets, so Paxton could certainly have a very nice game with how bad the Mets can be. But Boston can be a little dicey at the plate as well. So Scherzer has some. He can have a lot of Ks, but sometimes they don't strike out. Maybe it's a little lower K game. I'm very interested to see how that game plays out. Anyway, let's go to first base. For cash games, there's pretty much two guys I'm interested in. It's Freddie Freeman if you have a lot of money, but I think the easy play is Christian Walker, the guy I think you pretty much have to have either on Fanduel at first base / utility. Walker going up against Williamson. I got to check it. Let's see what Christian Walker's home run odds are. So he's at his best is plus 290, which makes a lot of sense in this game. I think he's one of the more appropriate players to hit a home run today. Just a great home run park going up against Williamson with the splits advantages. Everything's in his favor. He's my number one priority at the first base position.
Yeah, me too, 100%. Christian Walker, he's not very expensive. He's such a strong play today. Yeah. For me, I'm either going to Walker or Votto in that kind of same price tier. And then if I need to get something different for tournaments, I don't think it's crazy to take a shot on Nathaniel Lowe, save some salary, go all the way down to Tristan Cassis. He could rip a home run off of Max Scherzer. And even if you're not playing Gausman for some reason, like I think a 2.5K Mike Ford batting fifth today, I don't think that's crazy.
Yeah, on FanDuel too, I want to know too, you've got Rivera. He's hitting 6 for Arizona today. He's 2,600, a nice salary saving option at the first base position, or utility. Probably want to get both of those guys in your lineup, in my opinion, today. Second base, against me, this is pretty easy. You've got Ketel Marte, reasonably attainable on both sites. It's going to be, hey, who's from Arizona? Who's from Cincinnati? Let's get him in the cash game lineups today is generally what you're going to be hearing from me. Marte, no different, TJ.
Yep, I'm with you. There's 3 players I like at this position today. Marte's great. Marte's the best, but he's also going to be the highest owned. If I'm looking to pivot off of him, I'm trying to go to Mookie Betts or Brandon Lau as my favorite players here. And then the only other guy I'd really be looking to mix in would be Jonathan India.
Yeah, you've got McLean.
And, of course, McLean, but I'm probably likely more to play him at short.
Yeah, you can do that. And we'll talk about shortstop in just a second on DraftKings. But that's basically second base. We are, 4 likes away from 60 to get Spidey Bomb number 2. Please do that. We'll get some sports bets as well. I want to thank our sponsor, FanDuel, for sponsoring the show. If you are in a legal sports betting state and you don't have a FanDuel account, new customers can bet $5 and get $100 in bonus bets. Read the terms and conditions on that. But thank you to FanDuel for sponsoring the show and generally giving us the best home run odds basically across the board almost every single day. So appreciate that from them. Going to third base, again, it's pretty simple to me. On FanDuel, you've got Evan Longoria's 2,700. I think he's reasonably priced. You've got Rivera on DraftKings at 3,200. I'm trying to get as many bats from this game as I can. These are 2 players, I think, in reasonable spots with the splits advantage and a great home run park. What can you say to not want to play Arizona or Cincinnati bats? Basically every spot you can today, TJ.
Yeah, exactly. I think Rivera's fine, but I would much rather go to Longoria. Having said that, I do think third base is a phenomenal position to get a little bit different in tournaments today. I can't remember if I just said his name or not, but Spencer Steer leading off is phenomenal as a chalky play. But I think 2 of the very best tournament pivots on any position today is Rafael Devers and Max Muncy. Both these guys in a great spot. Both of them are cheap with high upside. Muncy against Dunning. Devers against Scherzer, who's been striking out less lefties and giving up more power to them. So both of these guys, I think, are phenomenal tournament plays today.
Yeah, Muncy's just 4,500. Normally he's in like the 5K tier on DraftKings. He got the discount because he's going up against Scherzer. But like you said, Scherzer can give up some pop. So I like that call quite a bit. All right, let's go to shortstop. I'm doing this maybe a little bit different than some people today. So I would have liked to maybe play Corey Seager, but he's not in the lineup. I'm trying to get some Reds exposure. So McLean's 5,700. I'm finding it like shortstop is just a pretty garbage position today, TJ. So I just found myself on DraftKings, unless you want to play like Crawford against Gaussman at 3K. I can, or Ahmed to get another Arizona bat, but the problem is you're probably already playing 5 other Arizona bats. So at some point you can't play all of them, and Ahmed, even though he's cheap, probably isn't the guy from a cash game perspective. And if you're like me, if you're playing Gaussman and Rodriguez, you have some money to spend. So why not spend it on McLean on DraftKings at 5,700? I mean, this dude looks to be in an amazing spot today for some power. I think he's a great way to spend at an otherwise, pretty bad position. You've got Lindor against Paxton, but I'll find some money to get McLean in there. The matchup's just too good. One of my favorite plays of the day. Going over to FanDuel, McLean's 3,800. If you can get to him, that's fine. I was having a little trouble because I'm spending up for Gaussman. I like Duran, even though he's hitting 8th. He's been pretty solid all year. Miller is good, but not great. He's 2,900, and you just look at the position. The next guy you're going to play is Ahmed, but again, it's the same problem, but even more so on FanDuel. You can only play 4 Arizona bats, and is Ahmed going to make the cut for me? Probably not from a cash game perspective. So this is a position I'm fine spending some money on. You can play Dylan Moore against Gaussman, just for some salary savings. If you're trying to stack it up, I guess is okay. But I think I'm going against the grain a little bit, playing McLean on DraftKings, and I'm looking at Duran on FanDuel personally.
Yeah, I'm with you there as well. I think like McLean on DraftKings is just absolutely the guy there today. I love Mookie Betts as a tournament pivot up over on DraftKings, over on FanDuel on FanDuel, because you can't play him there on DraftKings. But I agree, it is a tough position today. I don't even hate the idea on FanDuel of like you want to make a pivot off of the super chalky Nick Ahmed. You just do some Ezekiel Duran, or you even do something like Miguel Rojas and just hope that he's on base like he was last night, as Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts keep hitting him home, racking up some points. So I like that. And then Wander Franco, I think, would be my favorite way of getting real different in tournaments. And I don't hate the idea of doing some Bo Bichette either.
Yeah, I'm just I understand why people are playing Ahmed, but it's just I want the better Arizona bats, and you unfortunately you can't play the entire team on either site. And FanDuel, it's only 4, DraftKings is 5, and he just didn't make the cut for me. I got too many other better Arizona bats, at least for me. We've hit 60 likes. Let's get up to 80. We'll get Spidey Bomb number 3. I'll throw in some bets too, but at 60, TJ, you promised us another one. What are we looking at?
Yeah, I think we got to keep taking advantage of those Reds who are mispriced for this slate, because, TJ Friedl hasn't been hitting the ball too great lately. He's been struggling a wee little bit, but he is plus 850 over at Caesars. Like, that's just too much of a number for him, especially going up against Brandon Pfaadt. 66% hard hit rate to lefties this year in a limited sample. TJ Friedl, we got to take advantage of it. He's going to break that cold streak eventually. So plus 850, Spidey Bomb number 2.
Yeah, 850 is a ridiculous number on him. The best line elsewhere is a 650. So you're getting massive line advantage against some of the other sports books out there. And if Caesars is going to offer that, TJ, we're going to take advantage. I followed you in on that one as well. So love that. We'll see what else we can get us. Let's see, 18 more likes, people, and we'll get Spidey Bomb number 3. I'll throw in some bets as well. All right, outfield. Oh, did you touch on shortstop, right, from tournaments? Yeah, you got bets and all that. All right, let's go to the outfield. Couple plays. Pick your so the one guy I definitely want to have is Gurriel. He's 4,400 on DraftKings, and he's like 31 or something hundred on DraftKings. Yeah, 30 or 3,100 on FanDuel. I guess TJ, for you, right? Would you rather have Marte, Longoria, Walker, Rivera, or would you like you can is he I like the DraftKings price because he's in the outfield and you can play 5 Arizona bats. Is he the top 4 mix in salary position scarcity for you on FanDuel? I'm having trouble getting to him just because the price on some of the other guys is a little bit lower. And I'd love to have him on FanDuel. I can't get him in on this one because they only let me play 4 Diamondbacks.
I think he would maybe rank number 4 for me. I think I would go Marte and Walker are the 2 that I'd really feel like I need. Those are the musts, non-negotiables. Evan Longoria would rank number 3 for me. He's got a what do you think Evan Longoria's hard hit rate to left-handed pitching is this year?
Well, if you're saying that, it's got to be good. So
don't look at it. You got to guess.
Let's go 56.
77%.
Yeah, all right. I mean, his numbers this year, I mean, he's always hit lefties well. Cardi will tell you there's no such thing as a lefty masher, but he's definitely a lefty masher.
Yeah, 77%. So I think on DraftKings, I'd maybe prioritize Carson Kelly as my number 4 and Gurriel as my 5. Mm-hmm. And then on FanDuel, I think I would maybe reverse that and have Gurriel as my 4 and Carson Kelly as my...
Yeah, Gurriel's someone I would really try to get in. I wish I could get him on my FanDuel team. I just can't with how I've assembled my team. But on DraftKings, 4,400, he's certainly a priority to me. You've got, I don't know, you've got Jankowski. He's 2,900 on DraftKings, a nice little salary saver. Hitting second today with Corey Seager out. Not the greatest matchup, not the greatest hitter, but to get a bat high up in the Texas lineup for 2,900 seems pretty reasonable to me as a nice salary saver. You can mix in some of the other players. You've got both of the Reds. You've got Fraley and Friedel, 3,300 on FanDuel. I think those are both perfectly fine cash game plays. You can get to either one of them on DraftKings as well. And I think that's probably how you should be focusing, at least from a cash game perspective, on your outfielders.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. And in tournaments, for me, like Corbin Carroll is the number 1 play for tournaments on the slate by far. No one's playing him because it's lefty. Look at that projected ownership we have on him right now. That's just it'll be a little higher than that, but that's just stupid crazy. And so
yeah, for the bat's highest fantasy point projected outfielder.
Exactly. And so Jake Fraley is my favorite individual play, but Corbin Carroll is without a doubt my favorite to differentiate for tournaments. You play an Arizona stack with Carroll, and all of a sudden you're different enough for tournaments today. I like
if I switch to the bat ownership, the bat's got him at 15, basically the highest owned outfielder. I think maybe it won't be the highest, but I certainly think it's going to be a lot higher than 3.
I think it'll be sub 10 though. I think it'll be sub 10. Just because he's difficult to spend up for, he's expensive, and obviously since the bat has him projected so high, I think that's kind of why they also have that projected ownership that up there. But I really don't think he's going to be over 10% today. Spencer Steer, if you're not playing him at 3rd, I like quite a bit. Randy Arozarena in tournaments, I like quite a bit. And even some of these, and obviously, of course, as you mentioned, Outman batting 2nd. But I really like mixing in Will Benson Jankowski batting 2nd. I really like mixing in Will Benson to my Cincinnati stacks. And I don't hate the idea of getting a little bit of like Jason Hayward or James Outman either.
Now, would you rather play Benson or Jankowski as your cheap outfielder today?
Probably Benson.
Even at the bottom of the lineup?
Yeah, just because I like Cincinnati so much.
Yeah, I can certainly understand that as well as a cheap play.
For what it's worth, I would go Jankowski in cash, and I would go Benson in tournaments.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly fine. Jankowski, not the highest upside player in the world. Benson certainly has a little bit more. Anything else you want to chat on? We've got some questions. We still need some more likes. We're at 64. TJ is going to be a stickler at the 80 to get Spidey Bomb number 3. Anything else you want to talk about, TJ? Or are you ready to take some questions?
No, that's about it. Let's dive into some questions.
All right. If you want questions, you can go into the Discord, into the live stream chat. It's up towards the top. While we're doing a lot more in Discord than we used to. If you're looking for a nice little community, you can hang out with some of our experts who are either on the shows or writing content each day. They're in there asking questions. Feel free to, browse our Discord. It's all free except for a few channels like The Bat and Stevie's NASCAR. But if you just want to talk in a community, you can hang out in our Discord as well there. Going to take some questions from Discord right now. We'll go to YouTube in just a second. SHB Ball wants to know DraftKings cash, Riviera and Steer or Longo and TJ Friedel. I would probably go. Oh man, that one's it's like that's like yes. I would say yes.
Yeah, I would go the Longo and Friedel side, I think.
Yeah, I would probably lean that, but these are like the two
Neither's
options.
wrong.
Yeah, these are the two very close options you want to have there today. I'm
For
at
me,
pinch hit risk.
Friedel
Really,
and like even though Friedel's been struggling a little bit lately, Friedel and Steer are much closer together than Longo and Rivera are.
Tom wants to know best catcher 3,600 or below. So if you're right at 3,600, it's definitely Alvarez. I would prefer him. If you need a little salary savers, you've got Kelly at 3,000. I know he's not great, but he's 3K in the Cincinnati ballpark with the splits advantage. And then literally you can just
for what it's worth, Kelly was great.
Yeah.
Like he was really, really good. And to lefties this year, it's been a super limited sample size, but he has been again. Like he's been a guy that has been consistently really good against left-handed pitching for a long time. Started up the year terrible after coming back from injury, but he's finally starting to put it back together again.
Yeah, so a 3K, I'd like him. If you need anything cheaper, I mean, you can literally pick any of the starting catchers. They're all reasonably close to being the same player today, in my opinion, just to get some salary savers in order to afford the bats you actually want in cash games today. Devin wants to be heavy on Boston. They're looking good in plate IQ. Which side would you rather have today? Would you rather have Scherzer or the Boston bats? Some of the Boston bats are a little cheap today.
I think I'd probably rather go with Scherzer, but if I was playing lots of lineups, I'd be overweight on both.
All right. Grenade wants to know, do we trust Grayson? He got sent down. He was roughed up. He's been, I guess it's just the salary savings today. I'm okay with that. If you wanted to be a little safer on DraftKings, I think Miller has a reasonably good expectation today for 1,000 more. But I don't know. Paxton, I think Paxton's probably at 8,600 against the Mets would be probably my Gaussman pairing if I wanted to spend a little bit more money. But I really think today is the bats that are going to win. And you want to have as much exposure to the Arizona-Cincinnati game as you can get. And unfortunately, that means if you want to play Kettle Marte and Christian Walker and some of these other guys and maybe mix in some high-priced Reds, you have to sacrifice at starting pitcher today. And I just think Rodriguez is just a little bit too cheap to overlook today, even on both sites. If you're playing a cheap pitcher on Fanduel, you could play Rodriguez, you could play Miller, and then that gets you exposure to some of the bats you want to play. On Fanduel, I don't think it's as necessary. I just think in cash, I need a cheaper pitcher on DraftKings today. That's how I'm handling it. TJ, do you think that's a good pairing, or would you go up double premium?
In cash, I'd probably roll Rodriguez just because there's a lot of pitchers with high upside on this slate, but I don't really feel like many outside of Gaussman feel all that safe. And so I'm totally fine with that cash matchup, but I'm also good with being underweight on him on DraftKings, getting to a lot more Bobby Miller, James Paxton, and Logan Gilbert as tournament pivots today.
All right. We've got a couple likes away. We are 9 likes away from the final Spidey Bomb. Come on, people. I need to know what it is. TJ did not give me any inside information. I need more home run bets. All right. Looks like that's all the questions in Discord. I'm going to go to YouTube quickly here. Let's see. That part. He mentioned he's not on Rodriguez. He took the under on strikeouts. Longoria, big pinch hit risk today. I don't know. They're probably going to keep him in there if he's starting even against a lefty. I think Longoria probably plays, 3, probably 4 at bats. I don't know. I don't really see Longoria getting subbed out today.
Yeah, I on a slate this small, it's just not something I'm going to worry about that much.
Yeah, not really. I could bring up the bat and find it, but that would probably take me the other 5 minutes we have left on the show. All right. Well, you guys keep clicking the like button to get TJ's home run Spidey Bomb calls. I'm going to give you a couple of bets I'm on. This is a look ahead line. So if you've been following me on Scores and Odds, I'm 35-13 on money line straight bets, which is an amazing record. Not to pat myself on the back, but that's pretty good. But I'm looking at tomorrow. So get out your FanDuel Sportsbook app. It might actually only be on DraftKings. I got to see if FanDuel has it out. But TJ, do you know who's pitching in Major League Baseball tomorrow for your Blue Jays?
Is it Manoah?
It's Manoah, and he's going into Seattle against Brian Wu. And it's just minus 130. This is like they're just handing out free money at the sports books for you tomorrow to bet Seattle. So I've gone ahead. I've already made a big boy bet on that one. So Seattle money lines for tomorrow against Alex Manoah. I think I did not like Manoah against the Tigers. Come on, he had a good game against the Padres. I know there was some strike zone things happening on that one, but he basically reverted to the Manoah we've had all season long. I'm hoping that continues. And even if Manoah is a reasonably good pitcher, Wu's very good, and he can shut down your Blue Jays a little bit. And I just think the minus 130 at home for Seattle is just way too good of a price. That thing's going to get steamed on minus 150, 160 tomorrow. So get a day ahead. And when I've been doing these day ahead lines on Scores and Odds, TJ, I won't say they literally always win, but they almost always have come through for me. So absolutely love that one. They got up to 74 likes, TJ. Is that enough for you?
Give me one more. Give me 75, and we're good.
All right, 75. Let's see. We got a couple more YouTube questions. DraftKings tournament, Gilbert and Paxton be a good pairing for you today.
I like that in tournaments quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be reasonably different. And that with Arizona and the Reds seems like a pretty good way to construct a tournament team today, in my opinion, TJ. Does that sound good to you?
I like getting Spidey Bum number 3 today. This game, from a DFS perspective, is only available on one of the two slates. It's only available on DraftKings. On FanDuel, it's not available till this evening slate. But I am going to the Mets and Boston. And Brandon Nimmo today, who has been hitting with much more power this year, and especially lately, he's plus 900 over on Caesars. And so Brandon Nimmo is Spidey Bum number 3.
Nimmo lefty, but he's now a power hitter. That's I don't love the lefty, but you give me 900 on a reasonably good hitter, TJ. That sounds good to me. So I'm going to follow you in on that one. What are these home run odds today? These seem out of this world on a couple of these ones we're able to get.
It's only on a few though. Like there's some that are like.
It's the weekend. I've noticed on the weekend the home run odd. I think the whoever works for the sports books, and you can also say this in DFS, like the B team comes on for the weekend and the A team takes the weekend off. I've noticed this on the pricing and on some of the sports books as well.
Yeah, and like the playnow.com, the Saskatchewan website that I use, has been weird too. I just got some bets in, and I bet Fraley to hit a home run for like plus 540, and then I did a refresh and it adjusted to plus 650 for him. So I had to make a bunch more bets on Fraley to hit again. And so like my little parlay tonight is Fraley with Olsen and Otani. But then I did a lot just on Fraley individually too.
Yeah, I have a bet. I didn't write it up on Scores and Odds. It's a much smaller bet than my Seattle one. I'm on Washington today on the money line. I think it's around like plus 170. And with Gray on the mound, I know Webb's been pretty good, but I don't know. I'm willing to take a small shot. You don't have, plus 170. You don't have to risk a lot to win a unit. So that's basically what I've done. If you're looking for another bet, I don't have the what I would say the confidence that I do as the Seattle bet for tomorrow. But that's another one that I'm on personally. Let's see. Just trying to find if there's any more questions. I don't really see too many. Any final thoughts in DFS, TJ? I think it's pretty simple. I don't know how you'd come up with any different conclusions than we've had this entire show. You've got Gausman as your number 1. You've got Reds in Arizona. Start your lineups with as many of those combinations as you can.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you there.
All right. I think that's going to about do it for today's show. I will be back possibly with Chief for the 6:30 show. If not Chief, TJ might be throwing his hat into the ring or possibly joining us anyway. So we'll see what comes up on the late slate. Make sure to tune back into that. Other than that, I hope everybody out there has a great day. Go join the Discord, chat with all the experts here at RotoGrinders. If you're into props, there's a Chiefs prop shop. If you just want to talk to some of the content creators, you can get that in the various channels, MLB, etc. We've got football coming up. I'm sure Discord will be popping off for football. The news for that is going to be coming in pretty quickly throughout the next few weeks as we lead up to the season. Just have fun, join the Discord. Other than that, TJ, have a good night. I'm Brett. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we out ya.